Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Zara Richardson. My topic is exploring the HBCU graduate student experience, a qualitative study on the mental health implications of different instruction modalities. Here's my introduction. My problem statement is that mental health is a prevalent concern for students at historically Black colleges and universities, specifically for graduate students who are often overlooked with the rise of remote online instruction. My presentation is going to be divided up into three constructs: positive emotion and engagement in academic communities, which is characterized by the idea that graduate students are significantly less likely to seek professional mental counseling, and HBCU students reported peer interpersonal relationships, family issues, and depression at higher frequency than anxiety and academic difficulties. The second construct is fostering relationships in online communities. Since the pandemic, universities have transitioned many graduate students to fully remote learning, and graduate students enrolled in remote classes during the pandemic experienced common feelings of loneliness, lack of work-life balance, limited interaction with peers, and lack of opportunity to build relationships with others. And finally, the third construct in this presentation is establishing a sense of meaning and accomplishment in graduate school. A positive sense of identity and self-awareness was reported to increase self-efficacy, and it is positively correlated to Black student success academically. The significance of this study is that due to online instruction, the rise of online instruction, we will explore the mental health implications of different graduate school modalities, such as in-person and online instruction, with the intention of helping curriculum specialists, researchers, and policymakers weigh the consequences of each modality. The improvement of practice, the student study will identify the need for practices that mitigate mental health issues in graduate students regarding opportunities for interaction and meaningful learning opportunities. An improvement of policy will illustrate the significance of creating platforms to create an open dialogue to manage stigmas against mental health and provide strategies to promote positive emotion, increase engagement, foster relationships, and facilitate high achievement rates. Here's my literature review introduction. In this section, we will analyze past empirical studies categorized under the following concepts, such as we stated before, positive emotion and engagement, fostering relationships in online communities, and establishing a sense of meaning and accomplishment in graduate school. Understanding the history of graduate student mental wellness over time will allow us to create a framework to understand how instructional conditions can influence mental wellness. My first construct, positive emotion and engagement in academic communities, talks about graduate students and how they encounter a multitude of experiences that can either promote or deter positive emotions, which consequently can affect their mental wellness. In one study, enjoyment and happiness were found to be the most recognized positive emotions for graduate students, and frustration and disappointment were found to be the most recognized negative emotions. It's been discovered that a 50% rise in anxiety symptoms since the year 2019, and more than a quarter of graduate students have tested positive for symptoms of depression and anxiety. Furthermore, graduate school academic systems have been found to compound structural and cultural realities that resulted in chronic stress due to the high risk, high reward system of graduate school. Additionally, it has been identified that the significant role of student attitudes towards online learning in relation to motivation and engagement. Therefore, institutions and individuals must develop new ways to foster positive experiences for students in online learning environments. To continue the discussion about positive emotion and engagement, empirical studies have explored different strategies to promote engagement in online learning communities. Martin noted that students experience high levels of engagement and satisfaction when course expectations, assignment tutorials, and instruction were presented in video formats. It's also been found that text-based discussions, research participants engaged in more social knowledge construction and deeper knowledge processing, whereas in VoiceThread, a multimedia communication platform, participants engaged in the application of new knowledge more frequently. Tres Palacios and Perkins reported that activities designed to promote community engagement were effective in increasing student engagement. The second construct is fostering relationships in online communities. Online instruction and curriculum should be reorganized and designed in a way that takes into the consideration the promotion of a sense of community and collaborative learning opportunities. Wang and Fong disclosed that many students reported traditional face-to-face instruction as more effective, and learning effectiveness, motivation, and assessment outcomes decreased in online learning communities. Male and female responses indicated a significant need for opportunity for social interaction in relation to learning, and the relationship between preference to use online learning technology and the importance of opportunities for social interaction were inversely significant, thus demonstrating that students who prefer online learning technologies place less importance on social interactions. And then the development of supportive relationships fosters future professional networks, gaining informal guidance, and the facilitation of meaningful academic progress. Fostering relationships in online communities continued talks about how institutions vary in their capacity to provide students with funds and support systems to mitigate mental health issues. Kumi Yaboa also highlighted problems that cultural diverse students face with online learning, such as the inability to understand cultural references, the challenges of expressing ideas, and the lack of substantive discussion posting. Overall, recurring themes have been established in this study, including facilitation of knowledge building, preference of small group work, opportunities for discussion in cross-cultural environments, collaborative activities targeted towards learning styles, challenges of coping with cultural challenges, and lack of multicultural curriculum in online courses. The third construct is establishing a sense of meaning and accomplishment in graduate school. Graduate students often focus on degree completion and application of knowledge in their workplace. Therefore, they were reported to place a greater emphasis on a sense of pride stemming from the eventual outcome or accomplishment of learning, as opposed to the completion of coursework. It was also found that perception of professors' attitudes regarding student likelihood of success is positively correlated with mental health wellness. Additionally, students who struggle with accepting criticism were found to experience a decline in their mental wellness, and it was determined that students who depend on academic success to determine their self-esteem are more likely to experience stress and depression. Finally, the imposter phenomenon is characterized by individuals who are unable to internalize accomplishments, have a fear of failure, and attribute success to external factors rather than internal characteristics. So in conclusion, graduate students face challenges that can have a negative impact on their positive emotion and engagement. Supportive relationships and positive interactions mitigate mental health issues and facilitate meaningful academic progress. And a sense of accomplishment and pride in academic work is positively correlated with mental wellness and academic success. Further research is required to determine how different instructional modalities promote or impede mental wellness as defined by each of these constructs. And the theoretical framework of the paper is Seligman's PERMA model, a theory of well-being. There are 5 components: positive emotion, engagement, relationships, meaning, and accomplishments that work cohesively to increase a person's well-being and decrease psychological distress. The purpose of the study is to investigate the implications of different instructional modalities on students' intellectual and psychological mental wellness through the scope of Seligman's theory of well-being and its 5 constructs. And here are my methods. This is going to be a qualitative narrative design. It's going to consist of constructing structured interviews with the participants to explore the differences in various instructional modalities from an individual's perspective. A narrative research design provides descriptive data of an individual's experiences with each instructional modality and the student's perception of its effect on their mental well-being. The research question is, how does a graduate student's experience with different instructional modalities influence their mental wellness? And the concepts here are positive emotion, feelings of happiness, joy, or gratitude, engagement, utilizing one's skill set to complete tasks, relationships, being valued and supported by others, meaning, a sense of purpose and direction, and accomplishments, feelings of mastery and achievement. We will be using a criterion sample. The study is concentrated on graduate students that attend a historically Black university or college and that participated in instruction through different modalities. Therefore, criterion sampling was the most effective because the participants must meet the criteria. The study is going to consist of about 4 to 6 participants aged 20 to 40 years old. They can be male or female, any socioeconomic status. They must be in graduate school. They must attend an HBCU. The research site will be via Zoom or in person, and the researcher's role is to be an active participant in data collection and analysis. The collection method will be interviews. They will be structured using predetermined questions. The interviewer will listen and transcribe the data at a later time. The trustworthiness feature of the study is transferability. Predominantly online courses are newly dominating universities. Therefore, the researchers chose transferability because it will show that students in different areas and circumstances are having similar experiences with online instruction and mental health. It will provide readers with a detailed description of the participants' experiences, which will create a greater opportunity for others to identify with the research. The research procedures are: the researcher will petition potential research participants with informed consent and the opportunity to participate. Then they will provide the participant with informed consent and wait for the signed return of the document. They will schedule an appropriate time to interview the participant. They'll prepare interview questions. They will meet with the participants to collect data, and then they will transcribe and analyze the data. Interviews will be conducted via Zoom or in person. The audio will be recorded, and then the data will be transcribed. The researchers will then categorize the data by determining which key constructs the concepts fall under, and then grouping all the ideas under one theme. And then finally, ethical considerations. Informed consent. The research will include a detailed description of the purpose of the study, the process, and the approximate time it will take to complete the study. The researcher will inform the participants that they may opt out of the study at any given time and will respond with sensitivity to any ethical issues. The educators can take into the consideration recurring themes or common themes throughout the study and reframe instructional modalities to mitigate threats to the students' well-being. To improve policy, the results of the study will highlight areas that can be improved to promote graduate student well-being. The limitations include that the participant sample size may be small, the criteria is very specific, and it may be difficult to obtain participants. Data collection, the technology may interfere and could significantly limit the data collection because the audio recorder does not work. Then it will not be any data to collect. And then analysis interview data may not be extensive enough to provide data. And then here are my references. Thank you for listening.